Well, hello everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing all right and well. I know, sorry for the fake out this morning. It seemed like a lot of people were like, hey, Miss Audrey's on, let's go. And then it was like, oh, no, she's not. She's talking about some other stuff. All right, so for today, and as I mentioned, I will be on later on tonight. But for today, we're going to kind of take a moment, get ourselves ready for graphing. So we're going to be looking at order pairs and graphs. Let me see if I turn this down just a little bit. Hello, Raja. All right, so we're actually going to be doing a lot of these graphing, a lot of these drawings. But before we can get started, let's kind of start from the very beginning. So, what is a coordinate? So first of all, feeling pretty good, not too shabby. So what's happening is when we have coordinates, the first thing that we always see when we're doing all these things is we know a number line. Okay, so if I got my number line, I'm going to try to draw it as straight as I possibly can. So we have our number line, and a number line, you usually start off with 0. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going all the way to what's called positive infinity. Then you have the negative end. So here it goes -1, -2, -3, -4. I like to make my -5s or my 5s a lot bigger, all the way to what's called negative infinity. So we remember number lines perfectly fine. So with number lines, we all have like a 0. But then all of a sudden our number line started to expand in something else. All of a sudden we had another line that's going through, and then people started calling it axes. Guess what, guys? Axes is just basically two number lines meeting in a common place, right? Hi, thank you. So the common place, this center here, it's called the origin. So I'm gonna write that over here in our formulas part. So we have 0, 0. That's called my origin. Okay? So where your two number lines meet is called the origin. So here at +5, then we got -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay? So all you're doing when you draw, and this is called a coordinate plane. So all you're doing is basically taking two number lines, have them intersect at the common point at your zeros, and the 0, 0 is called the origin. All right? So some people were like, whoa, I never knew that. So everyone, don't forget to tap the screen. Hello, Lynette. I know, I think I faked a lot of people out earlier. They're like, oh, Audrey's on early. And I'm like, no, I was sitting here talking about You Can Tutor. So I know what I'm going to be doing with that from now on. So when we're looking at it, the number line that's going from left to right, that's your x-axis. Okay, so from left to right is your x-axis. Up and down with our vertical, that's your y-axis. Okay, so left to right, your x-axis, up and down, your y-axis. So when you are graphing a point, it follows the same principle. Just think about the letter of the alphabet. You have your X, then you have your Y's. Okay, so when you're doing a point, it goes your X, then your Y's. So you're either going left to right first from the origin, then you're going to go up and down from the origin. All right? So when you're plotting points, hey, do you help with piecewise? I could, but not right now. Okay? Hey, thanks. 100 hearts. Oh, thanks for the roses. Appreciate it. I actually was just on a call with someone from TikTok and just helping her out with her math. See, I can help. All right. So when you are plotting a point, okay, anytime they give you any kind of points to plot, you always start with the origin. So we're going to put that down. I'm going to slide. There's a lot of sliding I'm doing here. We're always going to start with the origin. So always start with 0, 0. And then the points is going to tell you what direction to go. So we're going to look at our very first point. So our first one is going to be -3, -2. So I'm going to make a listing. I'm going to put the listing over here. So the first point we're going to do, and I'm going to name it point A. It's going to be at -3, +2. So if I'm starting here at the origin, okay, let me zoom in just a tad. So if I'm starting here at the origin, if I'm going -3, that means I'm going to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And from that point, I'm going to look at my y value. My y value is 2. So I'm going to go up 2. 1, 2. And here, I'm going to put my point. This is why I like my dot grids, because I can actually draw a point. So we have point A. So again, I start here at the origin. My x, which means it's negative. That means I'm going to the left. All my negative integers are going to the left. My positive integers are always going to the right. Yes. Hey, my impact math person, look at you giving me gifts. So if I start here at the origin, I'm going to go to the left 3, 1, 2, 3. And then my y value is a positive. So I'll go positive, I'm going up 2, 1, 2. All right, so let's try another one. So the next one is going to be, let's see, negative. I feel like all these negatives today. I mean, today's an alright day. I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Everybody's getting all hugged up. Ooh, my boo bought me a bear. Okay. And I'm not going to hate, even when I was married, I did not like Valentine's Day. It was like, ugh, stop it. All right. Oh, well, thank you. Even when I was married, I did not like Valentine's Day. It was like, ugh, stop it. All right. Oh, well, thank you. Even when I was married, I did not like Valentine's Day. It was like, ugh, stop it. All right. Oh, well, thank you. Even when I was married, I did not like Valentine's Day. It was like, ugh, stop it. All right. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to teach and you're trying to interrupt me. Okay, so we are here at the origin, -2. So that means I'm going to the left 2, 1, 2. But now my y value is a -2. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2. And from here, I'm plotting my point. And this, I'm going to label it point B. All right. So when you're plotting points, you always start at the origin and then you follow the direction of the points. So now we have something, I want to say I just want to do two more. So I want to do point C, which is 0, -4. Okay, I want to see what 0, -4 is going to do. So again, I'm going to start at my origin. But this time, my x value is 0. So that means I'm not going left or right. I'm going to stay right where I'm at. But my y value is a -4. So that means I have to go from my origin, from my 0, I'm just going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, even though I put 1 down here. So saying that my 1's about here, which I was an error. But if this is my 4, actually let me correct this. This is supposed to be -6, this is -5. My -4 should be right here. Hence, this is why we don't do it in pen. All right, so if we start here at the origin, count down 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my -4. This is my point C. Now my point C is on which axis? Is it on the x-axis or is it on the y-axis? Put it in the chat. Okay, got double people with Y, going southwise, Silver Forest, Y. And now I feel like Michael Jackson right now. Why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? All right, thank you. You still give me a gift, even with me singing. You are a strong person. Okay. So it's on the y-axis. Remember, right here, this is my y-axis. Now, this point, that 0, -4, that's called my y-intercept. And you're going to hear that phrase so many times, trust me, okay? You're going to hear it over and over and over again. The reason why it's called the y-intercept is because it's crossing, hey, the y-axis. It's intercepting, it's crossing the y-intercept, okay, the y-axis. So whenever your x value is 0, you're always going to get the y-intercept. So guess what I'm going to show you next? Hey! So let's look at point D, where it's going to be 3, 0. So again, I'm going to start here at the 0. And I notice my x value is 3, so I'm going to go over to the right, because it's a positive 3, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. But then I look at my y value. It says 0, so that means I'm not going up or down, I'm staying right where I'm at. And this is my point D. So point D is on the x-axis. Notice it's not going anywhere near the y-axis. It's on the x-axis. So this is called your x-intercept. All right. So when it crosses the x-axis, it's called the x-intercept. When it crosses the y-axis, it's called the y-intercept. I'm just trying to get my screen and making sure everything's okay. All right. I was kind of frozen on my other screen. I'm like, okay, people, what's happening? All right. So, I was kind of frozen on my other screen. I'm like, okay, people, what's happening? All right. And then I want to mute me. There we go. All right. So, knowing this and knowing how to plot points, It's going to save you a lot when you start doing what's called linear equations. Okay, we definitely need to at least, this is the foundation. And a lot of students lost this during the pandemic because they weren't in class. And a lot of teachers didn't know how to teach them how to graph points without actually doing it on the board. All right. Oh, thank you. Happy I found your page. Taking a math class this semester is my first one in many years. Yes, we're about to start graphing. Beautiful. I'm right here to help you out. So, as long as we understand this, do we need another example? Because I'm more than willing to do this. Because I'm about to do a little extension with the graphs. All right. We're good? Awesome. It's always we can math, but this is breath of fresh air. Please, another example. Not a problem. Yes, please. Sorry I was late. No problem. Trust me, if there's no attendance, you're not going to go to the principal's office and get a granola bar. But anyway, maybe that was just at the schools I was at. All right. So if I give you a point, let's switch it up. Let's say point E. The point for that is going to be -5, -2. Okay, so -5, -2. So, directions wise, if I start here at the origin, tell me where to go. Put that in the chat. Where do I go if I'm trying to plot point E, which is at -5, -2? Give me the whole thing. The whole thing. Left then what? Or right then what? What are we seeing? So where would I go to plot my point? Go south 1, you're right there. You just have to tell me the second part. There we go. So we got to the left 5, and then down 2. We got down, we got left, we got 5 left, we got left, to the left 5, then down 2. Okay, down, then we have to go south, right. Okay, we got our north, south, east, west. You'll be shocked and surprised how many students do not know this. Kills me, but that's okay. So you guys are right. So if I'm starting here at the origin, the first thing I do is go to the left 5, and then I'm going to go down 2 to plot this point right here, and this is point E. All right, so here's the next part, and this is something that's going to carry over to Algebra 1, it's going to carry over to Algebra 2, geometry. If you notice that these two axes, these two number lines, broke up into 4 sections. We got this section here, this section here, this section here, as well as, I'm going to write it down here, this section here. Okay? These 4 sections, and it goes counterclockwise. It always starts at the upper right, then it goes to the left, then it goes down, then it goes to the right. These are called quadrants. So I'm going to write it out in this first one. So this is the first quadrant. Okay? We have the first quadrant, the second quadrant, the third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. With the first quadrant, this you will see a lot, especially with word problems. Most of the word problems, especially if they're dealing with apples and oranges or candies or how much things cost for an event, they're always using this first quadrant because the answers in here for both the X and the Y are both positive. Okay, most times people are not going to buy anything in a sporting event that's going to be in the negatives, right? No, they're going to focus on like how many oranges, how many candy bars, how many bags of nuts. It's always like some weird stuff like that, right? So that's all happening in that first quadrant. Everything, your X and your Y values are positive. I'm going to put a little X down here, a little Y down here. In the second quadrant, my X values, remember that goes left to right, these are my negatives. But my Y values, if it's above 0, it's going to be positive. Okay, so we're looking at all the numbers in this quadrant 2 is going to be negative and positive. Then when I get to quadrant 3, my X's are negative and my Y's are negative. So that means all the points in this section is negative, negative. Kind of looks like a face, don't it? Almost look like a little owl. All right. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. I appreciate it. And all the likes. I love it. Thank you. Now, in quadrant 4, my X values, they're going to be positive, but my Y values are going to be negative. Now, it's kind of nice to know this information because I know GED especially does this. Sometimes SAT slips one of these questions in here and they will just simply ask, they'll give you a point and they'll just say what quadrant it's in. It's almost like a gimme type question. So instead of you drawing out your graph and trying to plot your points, if you understand which is going to be up top is going to be both the Y's are going to be positive up top and both the Y's are going to be negative down below the X-axis. If I go to the left of the Y-axis, both the X's are going to be negative. To the right of the Y-axis, both the X's are going to be positive. So whatever rhyme or rhythm you see or whatever patterns you want to know, if you go on the diagonal, you have plus, plus, then these over here, you're going to have minus, minus. Whatever you want to see, whatever you want to call it, that's what you want to kind of keep in mind. All right? Questions on that? All right, plotting points, relatively not too strenuous, but some people generally get the second and the fourth quadrant mixed up. Now, here's a couple questions I want to ask you. So, point D and point C, are they inside or on, are they inside a quadrant or are they on a line? Okay, so you could put Q for quadrant. So I'm looking at point D and point C. Are they inside a quadrant or on a line? Q for quadrant, L for line. Put it in the comments, please. Okay, we've got Silver Forest Hunter saying Q, it's inside of a quadrant. Okay, we got Jessica saying L's a line. Wanda saying it's a line. Okay, it's nice that we're getting more people in there. So I'm looking at points C and point D. So is it inside a quadrant or is it on a line? Okay, going south, we got Q. Hello, Bella. All right, let me get one more person. I don't want to say a brave soul because this is a safe space. Like, you're not going to go to the firing line. It's just like, you know, if you're wrong, then guess what? We just correct our thinking. It's like, hi, I never did this stuff correctly. Hey, welcome in, Bella. Join the family. Okay, a lot of us have never done it correctly, but here's my thing. Now you get the time to take it in. But guess what, Bella? You're correct. All right, hello. No energy vampire. Neither did I. All right, so for those that says it's on the line, you're correct. Because in order for it to be inside of a quadrant, it really has to be inside the quadrant, not even touching the lines, okay? So sometimes they make a question something like this. They'll say, oh, point 3, 0, what quadrant is it in? And the option will be, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, or not in the quadrant at all, okay? So you're going to answer not in the quadrant at all right? Because it's a x-intercept. X-intercepts and y-intercepts are not inside a quadrant. Like point A, that's inside a quadrant. Point E, point B, they're inside a quadrant. If I put a point over here, and I know it's going to be a little hard to see, so let me see if I can make it a lot bigger. So this point right here, first of all, what is the coordinates of that point? And then we're going to talk about what quadrant it's in. So this point right here where my pen is, okay, if you could take a guess what will be, and I need for you to tell me both the x and the y value. Well, I hated this in college. It's okay, yo girl. It is okay, yo girl, Coco. We're going to get it step by step. All right. So we have Jessica thinks it's at 7, -3. Okay. Any other guesses? It's perfectly fine. So I have y7 and -2x. If anything goes south, just switch your x and your y's. Don't change the numbers. Just switch the variables around. So we have 7 and -3. We have 7 and -2. We have 7 and -3. Okay. All right, there you go. There we go. No energy. You got a lot of energy for no energy. That's fun. All right. So the way that we name our points, you always start with the X. Think about the alphabet. X, Y, Z. X comes before Y. So that means if I start here, here's 5, here's 6, here's 7 on the x-axis. But then I'm coming down 1, 2. So that means I went down 2, so that is a -2. So the coordinate of that point, which we're going to say point F, why not? Okay, point F. The coordinate is at 7, -2. All right. All right, so how are we doing? Are we doing good? Can I get some thumbs ups? Can tap the screen, make sure your butts are still alive. All right. Yes. Okay. I got a couple lifelines in there. Cool Bean, how are you? All right. Love it. Love it. Good. Hi, Isha. Lovely. Can't believe I got that right. I can. If you don't believe in yourself, that means I'm going to have to do it. So, hey, I got some work to do and you're going to get this done. So good job. I was working on this with my daughter. Yes, you're a good teacher. Oh, thank you, Kenya. I appreciate that. All right. So that's all we're basically doing for the plotting of points. Okay. So if they give us points to plot, we start at the origin. Remember, we go left or right first, then up or down. Left for the negative, right for the positive. Up for the positive, down for the negative. Okay? Now, we're going to take it a little step further. We're still going to work on graphing, but we're going to try to find our order pairs. And you're like, oh God, or just doing something funky again. Well, I'm just being me. I don't know about 10xing just yet, but I know I'm rocking that whole saying. I'm not even sure if Lynette is still here, but I just love it. because that's exactly what I do. I always take it to the main extreme. So here we are. Ready? Deep breath. We're about to go into something slightly new. So we have an equation, and I'm not going to talk further about equations like slopes and y-intercepts and all that stuff. We're not doing that. But let's say that they give you an equation. So the equation is y equals, make sure you guys can see. So y equals 2x plus 1. Now, back in the day, where were you 5 years ago? Where was I 5 years ago? I know, I just started my tutoring business in college. And I had a huge bald spot. You're cracking me up. All right. This is what they call our equation, our function. And you probably heard something like this. You're probably like what, Audrey? I'm drawing. Okay. Probably seen something like a little funnel. And they said that this was our machine. So we are going to put numbers in, otherwise known as your input. So we're going to put something in to this equation. And what we get out, which is called our output, is going to be the y value. So we're going to put in the x values, but we're going to get out the y value. Do you tutor one-on-one online? Yes, I do. Where am I located? I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. Okay. So, and if you ever need me, you can go to the link in my bio and just go to ACG Math Tutoring. And then we'll see if we can get something together. All right. Oh, do I accept Arizona ESA? I haven't done that before, but we will chat. Let's chat. Okay. So when we're dealing with this, they're going to give you some x values, and they like to put it as a table of values. Have you heard this phrase? So when they give you a table of values, they give you your x values, and what you have to do is plug the information into our machine to get the y values. So let's just say we're going to stick with the tradition of -2s, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So we're going to do about like 3 examples of this. Okay? So this is what is happening. All right? Right now, I'm in awe. Aw, thanks. So this is what's happening. My -2 is the input. I'm not going to make the chugga chugga sound, but if you want me to, I'll make the chugga chugga sound. So you put it in there, right? So it's almost like if you ever see like a grinder and like a meat grinder that you're putting like some meats in there, you're just over there grinding it up a little bit, right? And then all the grinding meat, like the turkey meat or the hamburger meat comes out. That's basically what's happening in here. You're putting in information. So let's do the substitution. This is exactly what it looks like. So I'm going to have this 2x plus 1. I'm going to put it right here. But instead of an x, I'm going to plug in this -2. All right. How we doing? Okay, do you accept Michigan students? I could do one. Yes, of course. I have students all over the place. So I have students in California, Florida, Texas, Massachusetts. I used to have students in Cairo, Egypt, and Nairobi, Kenya. I'm in Alaska. I actually had a tutoring session in Alaska today. Yeah, I'm everywhere. So that's the best thing. Jamaica, hey, I haven't had it in Jamaica, but I got way too much family in there. That's why I try to stay away as much as I can. It got crazy over there. All right, so if I plug in the -2 in for the x, now I'm just going to focus on what's happening in red. Let me zoom in as best I can. Oops, nope, not delete stuff, just zoom. There we go. I think I need a bigger screen. All right, so we have 2 times -2 plus 1. 2 times -2, what would that give me? Yeah, I'm a Jamaican American. Well, my parents don't want to call me a Jamaican American. They just say I'm American. They say I'm foreign. But both of you are Jamaican. Yeah, you're foreign. So 2 times -2, yes, it gives me -4. Okay? Ooh, okay. Dude L, I'm seeing -4 plus 2. Did you mean just say -4 plus 1? I'm hoping that. Because if I have a -4 plus 1, that will give me my answer of, and I think someone has it. Yes, Dude L, thank you. Which will give me a -3. So think about it. -4, I'm going to write it really small because I don't have that much room. So -4, I owe $4. I paid you $1. That means I owe you $3. What you just created is an ordered pair. So the ordered pair that we're dealing with is -2, -3. So now I'm going to plug in the -1. It goes into the machine. All right. So inside the machine, remember the framework was 2x plus 1. But instead of an x, we plugged in a -1. Okay. So now 2 times -1 gives me what? Oh, it's for all exams, Smiley. It's for all of them. GED, APEC, I was going to say Apex. Woo! ACCUPLACER, ASVAB, TEAS, all of that. Good. So 2 times -1 gives me -2. What does -2 plus 1 give me? So -2 plus 1. I owe you $2. I paid you 1. Do I still owe you? -2, oops. Okay. -1. Go south. You owe me some money, go south. I'm one of those type of people. I want my money. Okay. All right. So we have -2 plus 1, not -1. There we go. All right. So if I owe you $2 and I paid you $1, that means I still owe you $1. So the ordered pair that we're going to plot is -1, -1. Okay. So for people that are saying -3, this 1 is not negative. It's a plus 1. Okay. So -2 plus 1, that will give me a -1. Are we okay now? Okay. Thumbs up. Chiming. Good. Some people got kicked out. I like your rule. Thank you. All right. So we're doing the same thing. Here's the energy. We got 2 instead of the x. What are we putting in place of the x this time? Okay, so no energy says 0. Do we agree with 0? Silver says 0. Okay. I can't even see how many people are in here. But I know there's more than 3. Cool bean. There we go. So we are putting our 0 in. So if our 0 goes in, what's coming out? What's my answer for this expression? 20 of us, it says. Oh, okay. Fun. And I said apex. There's apex. Hi. Maybe that's why I said apex. Okay. So let's look at it. So we have 2 times 0. Anything times 0 is what? 0. So now what's 0 plus 1? Good, Peaches. Thank you. So Bella, so 0 plus 1 will give me what? Okay. I see yikes. That's okay. All right. So that will definitely give us our 1. There we go. There we go. So now, what's my order pair? We have our input. Got to go back to work. My lunch is over. Okay. Now let's see again. All right. Not a problem. I'm also going to be here again tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So, and I think we are dividing polynomials. So that's going to be a little more intensive. Just a tad. Just a little bit. All right. So I have 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Wasn't there a song? Okay, there probably is a song, but I can't remember it. So yes, you guys are correct. So my x value is 0. My y value is 1. All right. So I'm going to set up the next one, and then you guys are going to tell me what is the order pair. Okay, I think you guys are ready. I believe you're ready. So we have here, boom, boom, and that. Okay. Go ahead and plug in and go ahead and solve. Somehow I got lost. Okay. What time do you come on in the evening? 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So Bella, talk to me. What's going inside the parenthesis, Bella? What's your input? I don't know. Okay. So it's going to be whatever our x value is. So in this case, our x value is going to be 1. Because if you notice, first we had a -2. There is a -2 for the x. Then we have a -1. There is a -1 for the x. We had the 0. We have the 1. So whatever we get out here, we're going to plug in here for the x. Yes. So it is going to be the 1. Good. So now Bella, do the multiplication. 2 times 1. I was wondering where the numbers were coming from. Okay, good. All right, I think that's probably what unjar it a little bit. Yep, because I'm going to give you these values, the x's. It has a name, but I'm not going to say it yet. But I'm going to give you the value of the x. So all you have to do is do the operation to give me the value for the y. Yes, Bella. There we go. Good job, everyone. I see all the numbers. Whoa. Oh, okay. Willie is like, I'm like, Willie, where you going with all those numbers? I forgot you went to another one. Good. Look at all my advanced students. Look at y'all doing stuff. Is the next one 5? Well, how about the order pair? Is it Zarina? If it's Zarina, what about the order pair? So for the next one, we have 2. So my input will be the 2. What's my output? Okay. Good. Nice peaches. There you go. Good. Good. Okay. All right. I was about to correct Smiley. All right. You're good now, Smiley. Good. Hello. Butter. So lovely to see you again. It's like I came late today. That's all right. But guess what? You're here. You know, we're here. I really need this refresher starting a math class on the 18th, and I'm so nervous. Cool bean, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. It's going to feel fast, but guess what? You have an advocate to kind of help you out now, all right? So here we got our 5. So our order pair is going to be 2, 5. So you basically learned how, let me unzoom a little bit, just so we can get it all in. You learned a concept, and let me be clear, and this is not just to pump you up or anything, but you've learned a concept that our current students are struggling with, and they're dealing with this in roughly like 2, possibly 3 sessions. You've just learned it in what? 15 minutes, maybe a little less, with me less hammering on. I hope you're proud of yourselves, okay? This is a concept that a lot of our students are struggling with. And I know because we're not, little 10-year-olds or 15-year-olds running around, because they're all just hormones just running around like rampant. And we have a little bit of demure about us. But at the same time, this is a concept that a lot of our students are really struggling with, and you learned it in a short amount of time. I really hope you guys are proud of yourself. This is amazing, all right? So now that we did that, let's take it to the next step, which is let's graph this thing. So I'm looking at my order pairs. I know that my Y's need to be at least a 5. So I'm going to be like here to here. And I'm going to come roughly, we can come roughly about here. So here to here. I like to use my pencils because did you know years ago, this is what they used to use for rulers before they actually had the flat rulers, And then, if anything, you should also chat with my friend Lynette that's on here. I think she's still here. She teaches young kids how to add and count and multiply and divide, all that with an abacus. And you're probably saying, what the heck is an abacus, Audrey? Well, if you do a text message and you type in the word math, it will be like a small little box with a bunch of bubbles or beads on there. That's an abacus. That used to be used to count large numbers back in the day. It's an art form, and she does it. Definitely check her out. She's awesome. And sometimes I want to say, yep, early math calculator. Oh, yes. Look at you. Hey, Leanne. How are you doing? So one of the other, let me raise this up a little bit so we can get our stuff. One of the other things, I usually say this on my other lives, but I think I'm going to start saying it on here. And I really want to help support people, not only just with math, but if you do, for instance, if you have your own business and you want to get people, I'm starting to get people on here. If you want to promote yourself, please go on the live. Don't go too crazy with it, but just announce who you are, what you do. You're allowed to do that here. I'm perfectly fine with that because we're all trying to build up each other. So if there's a business, if you have something online that you want to just put it out there because you never know who is going to be here. It might be someone. I used to do it when all the DJs, I would go to their lives, party it up and all that stuff. And then I would actually say, hey, if anyone needs a math tutor, just let me know. And this one time I got 3 clients in a matter of like 5 minutes. So if you want to share, please share. I'm very good move. Exactly. And then if you get a DJ that has and I don't know why people are not doing this. It's like free promotion. If there's a DJ that has like a TV screen in the background, you should talk to them to see, are you charging for me? Can I promote my business on your TV screen, on the video? Why aren't we doing that, people? Gotta learn to think outside the box nowadays, right? And it's perfectly fine. They might just do it for one session. Maybe you might pay a small fee and you might do it for the month. I don't know, because there's so many people that are listening to the DJs and a lot of them are having like little TVs or activities in the background. There you go. That's a great idea. I know, right? See, I'm cute and smart. This is crazy. God has blessed me. So I'm just kidding. All right, so just shared with my daughter who is homeschooling my 4 grandchildren with her husband. Yes, thank you. Definitely. Okay, wish I had the skill to make some money. You are so smart. You do have a skill. You just need to take a moment to reflect on what people want. Okay, trust me. All right. So now, we have these lovely order pairs. Let's graph them. So this first order pair, the -2, -3. Now here's the test. Maybe I might scroll down here a little bit so you can use it as a reference. Where would this point be? What quadrant would -2, -3 land? Ooh. Okay, love that. Oh, you crochet? My mom crochets too. Oh, so Q3. I got Q3 on the left. Okay, negative and negative. It'll be on the left, but where on the left? Left quadrant. Okay, what's the name of it? So we either got Q2 or Q3. Okay, we got some Q. I know the W, the Q is supposed to be there. I got you. I was like, left bottom, Willie G. Yes, so we're in that 3rd quadrant. So that means my -2, -3 should be somewhere down here. So starting at the origin, my -2, that means I'm going to the left 2, 1, 2. Then I'm going down 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm making my point. Okay, and I like to kind of label it, make it really, really small. So I'm sorry if it's really, really tiny for you guys, but sometimes I like to label my points. I'm failing. Why are you failing? Girl, this is not pass fail. Believe. Believe in yourself. Okay? Because remember, you came in a little bit later and you probably weren't here for the quadrants part. So quadrant 1 is positive, positive. Okay, your X's are positive and your Y's are positive. Quadrant 2, negative, positive. Your X's are negative and your Y's are positive. Quadrant 3 is negative, negative. Your X's are negative and your Y's are negative. And then quadrant 4 is positive, negative. Your X's are positive and your Y's are negative. Okay? All right, so we're not failing in math. Nope. If I could delete that comment, I would. But knowing me, as soon as I touch something, something might go off in some other place in the world. Because that's how my life is right now. All right? So we have -1, -1 is the next one. I can't even see my screen. Just making sure that everything's up here. Okay. All right. So -1, -1. What quadrant would that be in? -1, -1. What quadrant are we in? Okay, so going south, say, and still in quadrant 3. Do we all agree? Bottom left, cool bean. What's the bottom left called, cool bean? Because on that test, you're going to see it as, you could just say Q3. I'm perfectly fine with that, instead of spelling out the word quadrant. Okay, bottom left, still Willie G. All right. Q3, Q3, Q3. Yes, there we go. Quadrant 3, because it's negative, negative. So starting at the origin, where am I going to plot that point? Tell me the directions. I needed you when I returned to college and have to retake math again. You make it so easy. I try, Peaches. Yes, definitely. If you're going back, when you're ready to go back, just give me a call. Okay, left how many, Bella? You're right. You're correct. Yeah. So there might be a situation that Miss Peaches and Mahogany, we might have a very interesting situation I'm going to propose at the end of this. Okay. So we're going to the left 1 and then down 1, because our point is -1, -1. So we go to the left 1, then we go down 1. Do you do statistics well? No. But I got a guy. If you are going back to school and you're going to do statistics, I got a guy. I got people that I can hook you up with. That is not my life. I'm so sorry. Okay, I finished and have my master's now. Excellent. All right. Bella, I need to know that my class I'm taking. Yes. All right. So now let's try 0, 1. 0, 1. What quadrant is that going to be in? 0, 1. That's the only thing holding me back from completing my bachelor's in human services. You got it. We're going to get it. Aw, thanks, Erica. Okay. 0, 1. What quadrant is that in? So I have someone saying quadrant 2, quadrant 1, quadrant 2. Okay, quadrant 1. At one person, middle 0, then up 1. Okay, center of quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So then let me ask the question again. What quadrant is it in? Oh. So Willie, it sounds like a line. Yes. It's not in the quadrant. It's on the line. Okay? 0, 1. So if I start here at the origin, and then I go up 1, it's not inside of a quadrant. Okay? It's not inside of a quadrant. It's on the line. So it's like yeah. It didn't move. Exactly. It didn't go left or right. It just started at the center and it went up. Okay? Anybody remember what that was called? A point like that was called? I'm like kind of reflecting a little bit. If not, I can repeat it. This point had a name. Okay? We are going to get a linear line, so you're not completely wrong. But what's this point called? I missed that. I think you did too. All right. I was late. That's okay. All right. You guys want to beat yourselves up. Relax. Like we pressing like this is life or death, like it's Squid Games or something. No, it's okay. I was late. Oh my God. Are you going to take my firstborn? Like, no. Relax. Oh, she going with gradient. Ooh, Bella. Okay, Bella's getting advanced. So I'm talking about, I'm terrible at math. No, you're fine. So this is called the y-intercept, okay? Anytime we have our axes that goes up and down, that's my y-axis. And it's crossing at the y at 1. So that's called my y-intercept. Can you tell we have math anxiety? I know. Trust me. Like there's times I find myself shaking every time I get a new client. And I'm like, why am I nervous? Like I'm the expert. Like, why am I shaking? Oh, I really didn't remember that. Yeah, that's fine. I definitely need therapy for math. I think we all do, because the way that we were presented with this information, it was like memorize, 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 memorize. You didn't have anyone to explain why you were doing that. Why are you moving this? So we're now like, okay, we see fractions right away. We're freaking out. It took a person to tell me that fractions is just another way to divide. And I was 25 years old when she told me that. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? I think we all just had bad teachers. Well, I'm going to keep my comment to myself on that one. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. There's a combination, but you know you know why. Okay. So for the next point, the next point is 1, 3. What quadrant is 1, 3? Oh, thank you. Tap that screen. Yes, they taught how they learned. It is true. It is true. Okay, 1, 3. What quadrant would that be in? Okay, Peaches, take your time, because I think I know what you're doing, because Smiley's doing the same thing. We're thinking the right answer, but you're writing the wrong one down. Okay, say with cool bean. Because we're thinking like we're starting like a clock. Okay, so it is going to be quadrant 1. Okay, it's going to be in quadrant 1. So the way the quadrants go, yes, both are positive in quadrant 1. Okay, this is what's happening. We're thinking like a clock. You're thinking like, oh, okay, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3. But quadrant 1 always starts at the upper right. Okay, quadrant 1 always starts at the upper right, and we're going counterclockwise. Not clockwise, counterclockwise. Okay, makes sense? Yes, okay. Because I had a feeling, I'm like, I know she knows what it is. And the same thing with Smiley. I know you know what it is. All right, so if I'm starting here at the origin, I want to go to 1, 3. How do I move? If I'm starting at the origin, how do I graph? 1, 3. I'm here so I can help my daughter with her math homework. Oh, that's fine. Look, use your resources. Use these resources. Okay. I was like, I've never been this interested in math before. You're so calming. Oh, thank you. All right, right 1, up 3. Yes, no energy. So to the right 1, and then up 1, 2, 3. And then we're plotting our point. Yeah, because eventually we all have to go back to work or pick up our kids. All right. Now, yes, we're doing good, guys. I got one more. So 2, 5. All right. What quadrant is 2, 5? Sorry, you can't see it. I'm blocking everything. Okay. What quadrant is in 2, 5? This will be our last point. Okay. Okay. Go south. Quadrant 2, 5. Both of them are positive. Okay. All right. Okay. It's going to be, yes. So it is in quadrant 1. We're going to the right, 1, 2, and then we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what kind of figure did we just draw, guys? What do we got? Looking at these points, what's it look like? Bella, we got linear, we got a line. Yes, we have a straight line. We could probably keep going with this whole process. But that's going to give us a little bit deeper into math. So what you basically did was you took some input, you had an equation, which gave us our function, and then we got an output. What you basically did was you got the x values, and you just had to find the y values for you to plot your point. Okay? That's graphing 101. It's almost like, hey, you had this kid first, and then this kid came, and then this kid, and almost like every 2 years, it looked like you had a kid. And then you were just like, no, we done. Screw this arrow. Just end that. This stops here. That's 5. That's it. Oh my God, thank you so much. Not a problem. Can I ask, how would this be applicable in everyday life situation? Well, I just gave you with the children. If you, see, I like to also think of like when you open up a bank account. So when you open up a bank account, majority of the time you have to start off with a certain amount in the bank account just to kick things off, right? So that's your starting amount. That will be your y-intercept. And if you decide, just let's pretend life is linear for a second, because we all know there's a lot of ups and downs. But if it's linear, and say that every time you get your paycheck, and we all should be doing this, we should be taking like, what, $10 to $20 and put in that checking account and not touching it. So every 2 weeks, you're putting $20 in. So it's going up every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, $20 in. Every 2 weeks, $20 in. So that's going up in the linear as well as a positive rate, because the more money, or the more the weeks continue on, the more money is growing in your account. Okay? Or you could be like me. I have that intention and I open up the bank account, and every 2 weeks you take money out. And every 2 weeks you take money out. So, but that will be a linear regression instead of a progression. Okay? I know, life happens. That's what it is. But then all of a sudden you start putting back in and all that other stuff happens. All right. So I think we should end right now. We've been doing this for a little over an hour. And what's going to happen, I am actually going to, and if you like the books, because this is a book that I designed. So just in case for those that don't know, I designed my own math notebook to help students out with the formulas and then for the steps. I am selling them on Amazon. There's a whole thing. I'll probably do more of a spiel to it. This one is for grades 7 through adults. So it works for Algebra 1, it works for geometry, it works for like any kind of graphing as we saw earlier today. Anything that you need to do, pre-calculus, anything that has to deal with formulas and steps, just to get the kids to help organize their thoughts. That was the whole premise that I have for this. And then in addition to it, because since kids do not know the multiplication tables, I have what's called a factor sheet. So I go from factors from 1 to 200. So if they get stuck on their multiplication, they can actually find it a lot quicker on here. And just in case you have students that don't have a calculator, you know, can't believe I just said that. Wow. Okay, thank you for this. I enjoy this. Not a problem. Wow, cool. Yep, and it also helps you with the rules of integers. It helps you with the order of operations. We're going to get more in tune with this, especially for next week. So next week, we're going to be doing a lot more graphing. We're going to be talking about rate of change and slope, and then some more formulas for trig as some of the kids get advanced, volume as well. And then also I like to give kids brain breaks. We all need a brain break so we can kind of refocus our brain. So when we get back to it, we can really get back to it. So anyone that's into pixel art, there's a section for you. If they want to sketch, there's a section for you. So I'm almost in tears, just realized that this is not hard as I thought it was. No, it's not. But see, here's my thing. You just needed someone to walk you through it. And then when you go to the community college level, the pace is like this. And you're in a class with a whole bunch of like 18, 20-year-olds or whatever. And the class is such a fast pace that you don't have any time for it to marinate. So if you just get someone that's like, this is exactly what your teacher's trying to say. I spend a lot of time doing that. And kids are like, oh. And then sometimes I might show them an alternative way that might work best for them. You know, some teachers like me doing that. Some people don't. But, you know, I wish I had this in school. Yes. But now we have it. So if you know anyone that needs to get organized with their notes, this is definitely available on Amazon. I have 3 different covers for it. But I'm not going to hold you off right now. That was the other thing. I'm thinking about for a lot of those people that are currently taking college classes, I'm thinking about doing a study group. Like, so if they're taking, depending on what level of math class, to see if we can just collectively get the assistance that you need while I go through all this. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, and when I say small group, I'm not talking about 10 people in the group. I'm literally trying to talk about like maybe 5 or 6 at the absolute most. And just breaking down concepts and breaking down what you need for your homeworks and all this other stuff. So I'm thinking about doing that tomorrow. You know, I'm always saying that's in things. But if that does sound like something of interest, you know, just go ahead and just drop me a message here on TikTok, or you can drop me a message on my website, which the link is in my bio. So you have that. Bless you for this. Oh, not a problem. Yes, I had tutors and I'm in my 60s, so it was hard. Yes. Because sometimes some of the tutors that they have at the community college, they're just like, oh, this is easy. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, boo, you lost me at blah. Like we didn't even get to the you know, can you like bring it back and pretend that I don't know this? Yes. Yes. What? Yes. Do have the prices. The prices for what? The prices for the book? It's like roughly like $12.57. But you know, there's tax. Tutors were no help to me. The math with sign. Oh, with sign. I can kind of break that down a little bit, especially with the SOHCAHTOA. I can definitely get that. I'm going to go get this book. Oh, thank you, Leanne. All right, so I'm going to wrap up. I know I kind of rushed through the whole salesy stuff, but I really wanted us to really understand the math and get the math. I know I have to order mine because I'm almost out of pages doing all this lovely math. And the best part is when you start, like say the year with this book, You could, and this is me, just a little side note, you can sell this book to whoever's going to take the class right after you. Get your money back. I know, I'm always hustling. I'm always thinking. Okay, awesome. So have a good time. Have a good day. If you want to come back, I will be here at 8:30. I'm not going to do graphing, but I am going to be doing dividing polynomials. So I'm going to do a quick review of adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials, and then show people how to divide polynomials. Like that's one of the other things that a lot of my students are starting to have problems with. All right. Well, have a good day, and I will see you around. Take care and enjoy your V-Day.